You don't think it's a big deal, but I mean, it is. It makes noise when a top player, or name player, he's not top player right now, but
Nope.
he came out positive for testosterone. He wasn't. He didn't play the game against. I forgot the match that it was that Juventus
It
played. I
was
think it
Italy
was.
versus Brescia. I mean, Juve versus Brescia. We're talking about Senor Paul Pogba,
Yeah, I will look
who
up
I've
the exact.
already
It
who,
was
I, who I've
August.
already blasted more than once.
Yeah, it was August 22nd, I believe, when he didn't even start. He didn't even play at all. But what do you
No.
think of this? I mean, of the situation of Paul Pogba. I mean, something is going on. Obviously, he said before this came out, he was talking about issues with his family, his brother.
Yeah,
All that
whatever's
stuff.
going on with him is really bad, right? He's got like family members and people trying to extort him. I think it was his brother. It's bad. So that part is compartmentalized. It's hard to be a super duper football star when you have a bad family. It's hard enough to be one and be at the top level, let alone when you have a bad family. That's why someone like Wanda and Immobile's misses, that's why she makes a difference, because she keeps all that shit away from him. Or, you remember we had this with Benzema and the extortion thing with that little winger that they had. Anyway, he
Yeah.
he missed the national team for years. But with Pogba, I think the issue with this story is, one, it's preliminary. So they just taking your precaution, something tested positive. The
It,
fact that it's
it,
testosterone is really, really weird,
and it's
because that's
just
very basic. Like if he was trying to cheat, that's not what you would
yeah,
do.
yeah,
You would
yeah.
use something
And it's
much,
just
much better.
it's just traces. Um,
Right. And so they have a second
right.
batch that they have to test. If that's cleared, then he's fine. I think it makes for a salacious headline because of the injuries, because it's Pogba, because it's at Juve. But I mean, I think fundamentally he's done being, even having a chance at being an all-timer at this point. He made his legacy on a couple years with Juve and winning
The
the
World Cup.
World Cup with France. But in my opinion,
Don't do it.
the only reason that Pogba got to be Pogba is because
Don't
he
do
had
it.
the greatest defensive midfielder ever behind him,
Oh my god.
Mr. Conte, who made a few teams look better than they were. Like, hey, Leicester won the championship. Why? Because Conte. He moves to Chelsea. Chelsea the next year. Conte. They win the title. Tuchel. Why did they win the Champions League? Because Conte put Kevin De Bruyne in his pocket and he disappeared permanently. So Conte makes a lot of players look better, and I'm going to make a bold statement that
What
N'Golo Conte is the greatest player without the ball I have ever seen in my life. Without the ball, no
he was
one
a
is better.
he was a
No
great
one.
he was a great player. He was a great
Now,
player. I give
he
you that. I
made
don't know.
Pogba be able to do what he could do, right? And I haven't seen Pogba be good without him for a very long time, to be fair.
Well, Pogba. I mean, come on. Pogba has been a good player. I mean, obviously, recently history doesn't accompany
Injuries, right?
what
Normal
and injuries, and of
happens to
course,
lots and lots of players.
stuff happening off the pitch has a lot to do with it. But at the end of the day, we made a video here on Top Football Club, about it specifically. I don't want people jumping to the gun and because people are cruel, and once they put a label on
They are
you,
cruel.
it is done and over with. So he needs to be found guilty and see. Because look, I give an
Oh no,
example.
I don't really worry about the steroid
Well,
thing.
well,
The thing
yeah.
with Pogba is that we still talk about him. He's not good anymore.
Well, I mean, he's
Period.
playing at Juventus, so I mean, you have to, and when stuff like this happens, the people are going to talk about him. I don't think
He
that's
could not play in a top 5 club in the Premier League right now. They
well,
would
the
not take
Premier League is not it's not everything in football, as we have discussed
it.
many a times.
Absolutely, it is.
No, it's probably the best league or most watched league,
No,
but obviously other teams are top as well.
no,
But
I
I
know.
mean it is
Listen,
what it is.
I think the other thing that Pogba suffer from is this: he's French,
Yeah,
he's tall,
don't
he's
say
strong,
that.
he's an incredible midfielder. So everyone thinks he's supposed to be Patrick Vieira, and
Yeah,
he's not. He's a 10, and
yeah,
everyone always wanted him to play as a 6, and he's
that wasn't
bad
gonna
back
happen.
there because
He
all
can't
those
defend.
tricks that he does, whenever he loses the ball, and he's the last defender. Like, yo, why are you trying to do a Cruyff turn? Why
Yeah.
are you trying to do all these tricks and flicks behind there? You can't do. You're the last guy back there. I can't tell you how many times with United he'd be isolated on the wing in the buildup. He'd try and do something funky, lose the ball, and boom, they're in on a defense. And Harry Maguire's like, Paul, what are you doing? I'm not good enough. Why did you do that?
Exactly.